may have been doubtful last Sunday if we would have a horse show, but I never had a doubt we would have a horse show. I wasn't sure if we'd open Wednesday or Thursday perhaps, but I knew we would have the FTI Grand Prix. I knew we would have the Hampton Classic. I knew it wouldn't be exactly the same as we'd always had, but I have to say, I bet a lot of people in those grandstands didn't notice the difference. It was one fantastic course. Thank you, Guillermo. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we were so excited. We were lucky we didn't get too much rain, but I was really amazed and so proud of our staff and our crew. It was incredible to me. Marty was out there with a rake. We had all of our show secretaries and our jump crew building stalls. It didn't matter what your job was. Everyone was out there starting 5 a.m. on Monday rebuilding. Forget about the teardown. That was a task on its own. But the rebuild and the cleanup of the debris, which I hadn't really thought about that part of it. I was just thinking, oh, we have to build the tents back up and get the signs up and stuff. But we also had to rake the showgrounds because there were leaves and branches and everything everywhere. But anyway, I don't want to bore you with all of that. We can have that be ancient history because we had a fabulous Grand Prix today. Thank you so much, Dennis Shaughnessy at FTI Consulting, for supporting us and continuing to support the sport of show jumping. And thank you to our riders for putting in a wonderful show for all of us today.
Thank you, Jeanette. And actually, before we begin taking questions for our riders, I would like to introduce to you Dennis Shaughnessy, the chairman of FTI Consulting, one of the great supporters not only of the Hampton Classic, but of the sport of show jumping. And I know I've said this before, Dennis, but it really makes a huge difference to all of us to have a sponsor who's one of us, who is part of our show jumping scene, who understands what the sport is about and really supports it in a truly meaningful way. And I know you have a few words for our riders.
Thank you very much. Number one, let me echo. I always knew that Jeanette and her staff were some of the top managers of horse shows in the world. The cooperation that we got, from them and everything we wanted to do was magnificent. I never knew they were magicians. And if you had ridden over here about 5:30 last Sunday night and saw everything on the ground, really, you would have said there's no way they're going to be able to hold a world-class horse show here. And so again, to Jeanette and her staff, congratulations. It's truly amazing, and we thank you. I'd also like to thank the staff of FTI who worked, exceedingly hard, with power down and no weather and everything, to have a very lovely evening here, afternoon here for our guests. So to all my staff, thank you very much. You worked very hard. McLain, I think we have to stop meeting like this, as they say. I've put McLain's names on a lot of checks very happily, here and in Florida. We were kidding each other as he was pacing the jump, and I said, I think I have a blank check here, and he said, just hold it, I'll be there later. So congratulations to you. Kent has been a longtime friend of the family for, a long time. We're extremely happy with his success, not only here and in Europe. It was a great ride. I didn't think you'd be beat. And again, to our friend from Russia, welcome to the Hamptons. And, we hope next year you'll be sitting at that end of the row, and we'll be giving you the first class, first prize. So again, Marty, thank you very much, and thank everybody for all their help.
Thank you. So we will open it up for questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand and Raina will bring you the microphone. It helps everybody to understand the answer better if they can hear the question. But I will take the first one, and then grudgingly I will actually give up the microphone. And I'd like to direct the first question to McLain, because after we watched Kent's round, the group I was with said that is going to be almost impossible to beat. That was a tough round, a great time to start things off. And McLain, we want to ask what you thought after Kent finished.
Well, first I would like to thank Mr. Shaughnessy and FTI. You guys have been incredible for our sport, and of course Jeanette and her staff. As everyone said, I want to echo the same things. For those who don't know, Jeanette's gonna get mad at me. She used to babysit me. So we have a long-standing relationship, and really phenomenal. I know, you and your sister, I know. Now on to the class. Yeah, you know, Kent's a little bit younger than I am, and I've watched him come up, and we've been great friends, and he's always been a thorn in my side in the best way. He has made me a far better rider, and made me be a lot sharper. And I watched him go today, and I thought to myself, my God, I'd like to be in the clubhouse with that round, because that was really a pain in the neck. But I knew he had done 8 strides to the 3rd jump after the wall, and I thought that was the only place maybe I could get him. And I didn't get a great wall of the ASPCA fence, and I said, oh, well, I have to commit. You know, I wasn't really riding for second, and you know, I got him by a hair, but 0.2 of a second isn't very much. It's an inch. But you know, I have a great horse, and again, you know, the people behind me, not only the owners, which is obvious, but you know, Lee McKeever and his wife, and my wife, and my father. I've, you know, had the same people since I started doing this. We're still doing it here 35 years later, and you know, to be honest, most of the credit goes to them. I just go in the ring and try not to screw it up. So.
Okay, we'll take questions. If you'd raise your hand, Raina can bring the microphone. Megan, up front, Megan.
This question is for Guilherme. When you were setting the course and setting the track, what kind of, you know, what was your idea for the class today?
Well, we had a good class on Friday, and I wanted to have a class that it was a little bit bigger, and I think the prize money, the sponsorship, is asked for a very tall, big class, and the riders were jumping really good. The weather conditions, the footing held up well, so I was big in building a bigger class, maybe not as technical as the Friday's course, but the idea, the way I saw them jump in, and I knew that they can do a good course, so I built a bigger class. I think this is an international Grand Prix. It's a 4-star event, and this Grand Prix needs to be compared to any top Grand Prix in the world. So that's what I show jumping in the U.S. Can support, and that's what I tried to get here. Was a tough course. We ended up adding a few seconds on the time allowed, and that helps a few riders. But I think in the end we ended up with a good result.
Okay.
You can go again.
Yeah, this one, I have one for Kent and for McLain. I guess this one's for McLain. When you were out there walking the course, what were you thinking? Did you see trouble spots out there when you were going to go in? What did in the first round? You know, what places did you need to think that you were going to have to make up time, or you have to be careful? What jumps looked a little bit iffy?
Yeah, I thought it was actually a great track. I really liked the track. I thought it was smooth, and I'm a big believer that a smooth track suits the better riders because it allows them to ride, you know, correctly. I thought the triple would cause a lot of trouble. I thought it was a little out here all by itself after the long run to the water. You had that rollback, but it was a little awkward, you know, in the 2 verticals at A and B. I thought that was a real test. My horse can be a little bit aggressive, so I thought, in particular for my horse, that was a hard test. But in general, most of the horses handled it well, which is a good thing to see. But that was where I thought the problem spot was.
Okay. I'll ask you the same question and then another. What when you were walking out there on the course, what were you thinking?
Yeah, I thought the triple combination at the end of the course would be the most difficult. You know, the vertical, very short distance like that. After you've kind of opened up the horse for the open water and things, that's always a difficult gymnastic exercise for any horse. And mine, similar to McLain's, is a little bit of an aggressive horse, so he builds as the round goes.
And I know we'll see McLain and Socrates next weekend. Will you be there?
No, I'm going to Calgary next weekend.
Okay.
And actually, I'd like to ask one question for Lubov, which we'll do through Vitek, is we've seen you here in this country before, indoors last year, but it's your first time at the Hampton Classic, and just if you'd comment about your Hampton Classic experience.
Skoro się что они знают тебя с многих соревнованиях манежей. И просто хотят знать, как свои немощи для соревнований здесь в Нью-Йорке, потому что здесь первый раз приехали в Hampton трассе.
Ну, во-первых, я хочу сказать большое спасибо организаторам и спонсорам, что я имела возможность участвовать на таких прекрасных соревнованиях в Хамптоне.
She says she would like to thank you very much for all sponsors to make such a great competition, and she would like to thank you for the possibilities that she could come here and compete as a rider from far away.
Для меня, конечно, это очень сложное соревнование, для моей лошади тоже, потому что ей всего 7 лет. И я считаю, что для меня весь маршрут был очень сложный, но мы справились, и я очень счастлива.
She's saying that regarding the course today, it was a very, very difficult course for her because her horse is only 7 years old. So actually every jump was like a task, and she says that she's very, very happy that she solved all the problems and that they were successful and they had a double clear rounds.
Really was very impressive with such a young horse to turn in those rounds. Nancy.
McLain? What does your record here say about you and your horses and your consistency over the years? I know this is a really special show to you.
Yeah, I mean, this is the best show in our country, in my opinion. Always has been. And I, since I was a little kid coming here on ponies, somewhere up on the hill over there, always wanted to do well here. And there's a handful of shows in the world maybe like that, and for one reason or another, from the very beginning, the luck has kind of fallen my way here a little bit, and the rub's gone my way, so to speak. And so that builds confidence, obviously, and builds a comfort level with this facility. And you know, we take a little break typically in August to kind of refresh ourselves. So we always come in here with really fresh horses. I've always brought my best horse here because I believe that the event that's put on here is worthy of that. And you know, Sunday morning my blood is always up, and you know, it means a lot to win here. It means as much for me to win this Grand Prix as any. So.
And I'd like to ask Kent, we asked McLain what he thought when you finished your round. I'd like to ask what you thought when you finished your round.
To be honest, I thought I was in trouble. I knew on that line over there where I'd done 8 strides, I thought I got hung up a little bit at the wall. And with McLain coming after me, he's one of the best riders in the world, and he's also one of the fastest. So on that horse, with him riding and getting to watch me go and seeing a spot where, you know, he could make up time, I thought I left the door open.
Not a lot of people did, but I guess it turned out you were right this time.
You've been doing this for a while. So
Yeah.
you've been...
But less than 0.2 of a second. Next question. Looks like you guys are all getting up. Nancy, okay.
For Lubov, you didn't have any thoughts at all about going fast. You were just going completely for clear with, you know, superstars like McLain and Ken ahead of you, correct?
Он говорит, что когда ты прыгал, он не спрашивает сильно, что ты мысли, как и было в головах других спортсменов. Она спрашивает, какие были мысли у тебя, наверное, никаких, просто чтобы прыгать чисто, потому что прыгать на такой молодой лошади и соревноваться одновременно с McLain'ом или с Кентом Фаррингтоном, это очень-очень сложно.
Нет, не было таких мыслей, чтобы просто отпрыгать чисто. Я всегда хочу выиграть, просто еду так, как могу и как может лошадь прыгать. И если я чувствую, что она не может быстрее, значит я прыгаю так, как есть, так как мы пока наработали. Но я не выезжаю, чтобы не выиграть там, а занять какое-то последнее место. Нет, всегда хочется выиграть.
She's saying that it seems like this because the horse is very young, but she is a real competitor and she always tries to win. And she tries to go so fast as possible at the moment and so quick as the horse allows her to do it at this place, how far they are in the training. So she always tries to go very fast, so fast as possible at the moment.
Do we have any other questions? Okay, Megan. Oh wait, no, we'll go back. Go ahead.
Hi, this question is for McLain. We're all talking about the wall to the combination. Was there anything special that you did to set your horse up for that so that you knew that he'd get over it clear?
The wall or the combination?
Well, the tight turn from the wall to the combination just before.
I was trying to go as fast as I possibly could. I mean, it's a double of verticals. It's a little hard to run into. I think I said whoa, maybe. Probably a nervous whoa. But I thought it was going to be tough to catch Kent. I mean, of course, I went in trying. I never give in. But I thought it was a real problem today, and like I said, it was a whisker. It was basically the same round. You know, God's just shown a little bit on me today. So.
Okay, this is a question. You said that you grew up watching, you know, Kent a little younger than you. Do you guys kind of, you know, trash talk each other back there? Have you been known? Have you been known?
Kent has this wonderful quality of asking a lot of questions and never giving up any information. So now we have a deal. If he gets a little bit of information, he's got to give a little bit of information. So that's our relationship now.
All right. And then this question is for Lubov. Does she see? Are there hopes that she might be riding for the Russian Olympic team with this horse?
Вопрос есть насчет того, ты думаешь, что есть реальный шанс, что будешь прыгать на Олимпийских играх на счет российской команды?
У команды шанса нету никакого выступать на Олимпиаде, но я пытаюсь квалифицироваться личником.
She's saying that the Russian national team didn't get the qualification as a team for the Olympic Games, but she tries very hard with all her possibilities to get the qualification for an individual spot, and that's what her plan is regarding Olympic Games.
Okay.
Well, before we wrap things up, I'm going to give the microphone to McLain. We were walking up and he mentioned something to me that he wanted to say, so we'll finish with that.
Well, I wanted to thank all of the staff that's here with us and the sponsors in this room and the press. It's a beautiful bottle of champagne. I can tell you from experience it tastes great. So if Margie will get it out, we'll open it up and everybody have a glass on the way out and enjoy it. Jeanette, you did a great job, so please enjoy it. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you and your staff and the great sponsors and of course the press to sell us. So anyway, thank you guys.
Thank you so much, McLain. And on behalf of Champagne Louis Roederer, we look forward to that. On behalf of FTI Consulting, on behalf of the Hampton Classic, we thank you all for coming. We congratulate our riders. We congratulate Guy on a job well done. And we will watch and see if McLain's as good at this as he is at riding. I guess he's done this before. Thank you all.